conclusion is that at least some large trees are far easier to estimate than expected, and some people will really worry if we have a large tree problem, and how do we deal with it. And the second is some small trees are very difficult to calculate. But again, when we give the example like maximum likelihood or quartet puzzling, we always give the example for full taxa problem. And many people, they all work on those kind of problems, like the human, gorilla, chimpanzee problem. But those kind of small trees are sometimes it's very difficult to estimate correctly. So in other words, if you add a lot of noisy data or dirty data in a sense, and sometimes it performs even better and give you a better supporting something like that. It's an interesting thought anyway. If we are working on a phylogenetic analysis, it's really better to add more taxa to give you a better resolution. But sometimes the addition of taxa doesn't always work. If the new taxa also have a long branch or some problem with hybridization, then it could create a new problem as well. And some people will say, how about random sampling? Will it be better to get a better tree? So what do you mean by random trees? And for example, you are working on a genus with 100 taxa, but it's almost impossible to get all the sequence for 100 taxa due to the limitation of time and funding. So for example, you only can choose 20 of them, like it's 20%. And so what 20 taxa are you going to choose? So one approach is to, well, if you really know those plane well, you probably can divide 100 species into like several different sections or something like that. And you will want one samples or two samples from each of the sections, and then to see the relationship among those 20 taxas you choose. But many people say, well, some people say this is not right because you are making judgments before you're making the tree. Since you are not sampling all of them, why you choose those 20? And some people, they'll say, okay, how about random sampling? And so there are some simulation data, and just randomly choose like 20% of the taxas and to see if we can reconstruct the beta tree. But actually no, the result is not. So it's even worse when you just choose particular case. So sampling is very critical, although it's very biased in a sense, but you can say it's a little bit personal opinion in choosing which taxa to choose. But sometimes if you know the taxa well, then I think you will make a better judgment according to it. But sometimes if you have some decision making and you basically see, okay, I can choose this or that, then it will be better to blindfold it and to randomly choose one of them. If you have difficulty to decide which one to choose, then it's better to be random in this sense. So I think this is the end of the slides here, and I think this most important one. Making tree is very easy, just a few clicks and you'll get a tree. But how to evaluate and know the power and the weakness of the method is very important. So you need to have statistical evaluations, and you need to know the limitation of the bootstrap, something like that, because it only gives you the internal support, not necessarily it's the right tree. So do not be confused with the things here, and always be very careful on the methods you choose. Some statistic is tricky as well. Some references.